Hi everyone, welcome back. It is early in the morning. Good morning. It's about 6:30. The sun is just coming up here in Illinois in Garden Zone 5. And my name's Michelle. Welcome. If you're stopping by today, we would love to have you join our group. And I thought I would take you on an early morning walk. Now I do this about every morning. I come out and check how the garden looks and have my cup of coffee and take a walk around. This morning when I came out just a few minutes ago, Mr. Rabbit was already out here to greet me, so I spotted him, and he is getting so tame in the backyard. It doesn't seem to bother him that I'm back here. So I did notice last night he was eating some grass out in the backyard, and I thought if I could just get him trained to weed around the edging for me, that would be perfect. And not eat the plants. But anyway, so let's get talking about the back garden and what's in bloom. Now this garden is new. Most of it, all the stuff by the garden house on each side, I've just planted up in the last few weeks. And it was a progressive garden. It used to be all grass. We have about a half an acre in our yard, and the backyard is fenced in, and it was mostly grass, and we planted then a few years ago some arborvitaes, and with the arborvitaes I added a few rose bushes, and then just over time, mainly over the last 2 years, I've expanded the back garden to be almost the, well, it's the entire perimeter now of the fenced-in area. So I like to come out here and I can hear the bees buzzing and just check out how everything is early in the morning. Do you like to do that too? Do you go out to your garden early in the morning with your cup of coffee and take a walk around and look to see what is starting to bloom? And things just seem to open up overnight. So I always like to start my morning that way, of seeing all the beautiful stuff in the garden. So come along with me and let's take a walk around the backyard. And there's our little guy. See if I could get him trained to eat that grass right there along the edging all the way around. Anybody got some good ideas on that, how to train him? Cleome. Look how beautiful the cleome is. Oh, and there's a bee on it. That's just done wonderful. It's huge, and that came up as a volunteer this year. I will tell you, if you plant the salvia in your garden, the bees, the pollinators, just love the salvia. They're all over it. And I have to be careful when I'm walking in the garden, and also when it's time to prune it, finding a good time to prune it, because there is bees all over it. But there's 2 on the salvia, and there's 1 on the cleome. So it's a busy corner over here. The foxglove is doing good. Now that did come back for me. That's Dalmatian rose foxglove. And I've mentioned before, usually foxglove I treat as an annual. It doesn't come back for me, but this one did, and I actually moved it. It was back in the corner, and I pulled it up into this bed, and it's doing really well there. Oh, more bees on the Gara. So it's a busy bee morning here at early in the morning. And then I do try to walk along the pathway on the edging, because the grass is full of dew this early in the morning still. There's another little bee. Another salvia. And this is most of the salvia in my yard is the May night salvia, But then I also have some different ones too. But the majority of it's Menard, which does, of course, really good for our area. Oh, and look how tall the Winchester Cathedral rose is getting. I would say that's getting close to more than 4 foot tall. Looking good. Do you hear the birds in the background? And that perfume breeze back on the black trellis, that's just a really pretty rose. It has really tiny, tiny flowers on it. And there does seem to be quite an abundance of the flower heads, and this is only its second season. So I'll be interested to see how it does, because it's already shot way off, and you can see it way back in the back there. So it's pretty vigorous. Another thing I do in the morning time is I have the fountain. We have it on a remote. So where the petunia is, the planter, right under there is the electric box. So I come out in the morning and turn it on, and it takes a few minutes for it to get going. But I don't usually, last summer I left it on a lot, like 24/7. And what I noticed is it's really hard on the pump. So now I just, since we do have it on a remote, which it's just on a little, here let me hold it, a little key fob remote, which is really easy. So then at nighttime, I'm out here working and watering stuff at night. And then when I go in for the night, I turn it off with the remote. And in the morning, then when I come out with my cup of coffee and do my walk around, I turn it back on. And a lot of times then in the morning time, I'll fill it back up. And then I also have some algae, a bottle of, it's supposed to help keep the algae down. And I usually put a couple of squirts of that in that when I fill it up to help try to keep that down, because I notice when it gets, the hotter it gets in the summertime, the more I deal with the algae in it. Oh, I'm seeing bumblebees on the catmint, a couple of them. So it's just a real nice retreat coming out here